Hi, I'm Tracey, your leading health and nutrition coach and molecular biologist. I've consulted with hundreds of people around the world on their human journey. So if you're a seeker looking for answers, information and knowledge, you'll find it here. Come on a journey with me as I explore the science, the physical body, and the cognitive and energetic space of what it really means to be human. Welcome back, everybody. And today we're going to be talking about our menstrual cycles and some of the chemicals that are actually leading to major issues. Okay, so some of the chemicals that are causing a lot of problems in so many women and what you can do about it. Okay, so first up though, I just want to mention the workshop I've got coming up on June 12 called Divine Feminine Flow. It's going to be covering a lot about hormones, the moon, nutrition, exercise, self-care, rituals, all sorts of different things. It's going to be a beautiful morning. I've only got 2 tickets left as of today's recording, and I am recording in advance, so they might go by the time this actually airs. I'm very sorry about that. But I do have a couple of more sessions coming towards the end of the year. So if you do miss out on the June one, just check out and keep an eye on socials for the upcoming ones in September and November, I think it is. So yeah, cool. All right. So today's chat, are your cycles affected every month? Okay. Are you trying to conceive and having some problems? I want you to start here. Okay. What is your endocrine system? Okay. What are xenoestrogens? And why are they messing with our endocrine system? Okay, where are these pesky and annoying xenoestrogens found? What they do to the hormones and what you can do to get rid of them. Okay, so this is a pretty serious chat for anyone who's having issues with their menstrual cycles. This is like the basics of let's start trying to put our finger on what's actually happening, why it's happening, and if you can eliminate some of these factors and then see if these problems are still causing any issues for you as well before you actually make contact with your doctor or a specialist or something like that. This is definitely a great place to start. Okay, so are your cycles affected every month and you have no idea why? Okay, I see this so much, okay, especially at the moment. There's a lot of menstrual cycle issues and there's stress. I mean, so many factors, play a part in cycle problems. But today we're just going to specifically look at the chemicals that actually cause issues to the menstrual cycle. So perhaps you've just started trying to conceive and you're having issues. I want you to start here and see if this might be a reason, okay? I'm not saying that it will fix everything 100% because cycle issues can be relatively complicated. However, this is definitely a great place to start. Okay, so perhaps you have cycle issues full stop. I mean, maybe you've got heavy bleeding, light bleeding, non-existent periods. Perhaps you become incredibly moody, it's painful, or maybe you've had a serious medical ailment happen and you're just not sure where it's come from. Okay, these are some of the things that I just want you to consider, and maybe you might pinpoint something that might be going on for you and you can make a change to the way you're doing things. So what are xenoestrogens and why are they completely messing with our endocrine system? Okay, well, first up, let's just chat about what your endocrine system is, okay? Your endocrine system is a very complex system of hormones. So most people are familiar with the word hormones. Hormones do so many different things in the body, okay? These are chemicals that are released by different glands around the body, and they control nearly all of the processes of your body. All right, they, just off the top of my head, they help coordinate body functions, metabolism, your growth, your development, emotions, mood, sexual functions, and sleep, and so many others. Okay, so hormones, when we talk about hormones and people say, she's so hormonal, we're not just talking about sexual functions, okay? We're talking about all of the different systems in the body and hormones and how they contribute to those, okay? They do so many things, nearly all of the processes of your body. are done by hormones, okay? But specifically today, we're going to look at the sexual functions, okay? The lady bits, okay? So what are these xenoestrogens, okay? So simply put, xenoestrogens are endocrine disruptors, okay? Your endocrine system is totally messed up when xenoestrogens start to interfere with the natural processes of the body. So I want you to imagine a conveyor. I'm going to throw out an analogy here. I'm just making it up. But imagine a conveyor belt on a factory floor. Okay, and things are packing nice and tidy into a box, like I'm a bit OCD with this stuff. So, you've got the box and it's like everything is getting compacted in there nice and neat and square and it looks really flush, and you close the lid and you tape it over. It's like, that's perfect. How good does that look? And then some crazy person comes in and starts throwing overripe bananas at the conveyor belt, and it's a complete mess. What do you think is going to happen to that beautiful box, all right, or the packaging of that beautiful box, okay? That's what xenoestrogens do. They come in and they make everything messy. They make everything out of alignment. They weaken the end product, and they stop things from working properly. Okay, so xenoestrogens are a subcategory of endocrine disruptors, specifically having an estrogen-like effect. Now, I'm sure you've heard of estrogen before. You've got estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. Okay, so estrogen is a natural hormone in humans that is important for like bone growth, blood clotting, reproduction in both men and women. Okay, but when xenoestrogens enter the body, they increase the total amount of estrogen, resulting in a phenomenon called estrogen dominance. Have you guys heard of that before? I'm sure many of you have. It's pretty well known now. Okay, I don't believe it used to really be a thing, estrogen dominance, but it is now, okay, and it's because of these xenoestrogens, okay? Xenoestrogens, synthetic form, come into the natural form, combine together, and next thing you've got this crazy amount of estrogen, okay? So excess xenoestrogens are not biodegradable, okay? They cannot be broken down, okay? And so they have to be stored somewhere. Where do you guys think they get stored? I know that I talk about where stuff gets stored all of the time, and it's the exact same place that you would expect, in your fat cells, okay, where all of the other crap lives, where all the other toxins get stored. That's where you'll find your xenoestrogens as well, okay, because your body can't break them down. It cannot remove them unless you physically flush that crap literally out of your body. You're stuck with them. Okay, so where are these really detrimental xenoestrogens found? Okay, now before I start telling you, you have to bear in mind that I'm just the scientist, okay? I'm just the messenger, don't hate me, okay? And I really encourage you to do your own ingredient research, because what I'm about to tell you might send you into overdrive. Okay, but just remember, I'm just the messenger here. Okay, you can look this stuff up for yourself. You can check the ingredients list, okay, for yourself. You don't need someone like me to tell you. I encourage and always implore people to go and have a look into things themselves. All right, so the number one place where you will find xenoestrogens that cause absolute havoc on your menstrual cycle is in skincare. Oh, no, she said, yes, in your skincare. Oh my God. The xenoestrogens that are in our skincare just like blows my mind. I cannot believe that they can possibly let all of that stuff into skincare. Now, without sounding like a, conspiracy theorist here, sunscreens, people. Sunscreens, okay? As a scientist, I just have to look at the list and go, oh my God, how do they get away with that? Okay? How many sunscreens have been recalled by the TGA lately? Okay? Last week there were 6. 6 sunscreens, okay? The week before that, there was more. I'm literally losing track, okay? And why are they actually being recalled? It's because they have cancer-causing ingredients in them, okay? Particularly benzene. But they have cancer-causing ingredients in them. How do these things get to the shelf? I don't know how this happens, okay? But here we are. So natural is best. Zinc oxide. That's it. You don't need anything else. If you look at a sunscreen packet and it goes blah, 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 all of this crap in there, you go, I'm going to have a look at those ingredients. Do I want to be putting that crap on my skin? Probably not. Okay. Zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is a mineral. It isn't absorbed by the skin. It reflects the rays. That's it. That's all you need. Okay. The thing that blows my mind is that the Cancer Council, it was some of their sunscreens that were actually recalled. I can't get over that. Anyway, skincare, okay? Lotions, makeup, moisturizers, anything that you put on your skin, any anti-aging products, any masks that you wear, to replenish your plump, beautiful face, all of those things can contain xenoestrogens. I don't have the whole list for you because if I name them all, I would be here forever, as you can imagine. But there is so much crap in our skincare and it is playing havoc on your menstrual cycle. If your period is too heavy, too light, erratic, not on time, too late, too early, okay? If it's painful, if you're moody, all of these things can be linked back to your skincare, can be linked back to the ingredients of the things that you are putting on your skin. So please go away after this chat and have a look. All right, the next place you can find them is plastics. We use plastic for everything. I went shopping the other day and I didn't have time to go to my usual place, so I ended up at Karrinyup at Woolworths to get some apples for Charlotte for school, and they wrapped the apples in plastic, a plastic tray, and then a plastic bag. Gosh, it just hurts my head so much. But plastics, okay, we use plastics for everything, okay? Plastics break, all right? They break off and they go into all of the things we eat, the things we drink, the things we breathe into our bodies every single day. Plastics. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Okay, and plastics, when they are heated, so if you leave like a water bottle in your car and it gets hot, that plastic is going into the water and then you're drinking it, and then that plastic, that xenoestrogen, is going into your fat cells and then it can potentially cause disease. Oh my God. Okay. Food dyes, okay, and BHA preservatives. Okay, I'm not a fan of processed stuff, but, if you're going to eat it, have a look and see if you've got some food dyes in there. Because if you do, hello xenoestrogens, hello havoc on your menstrual cycle. It's right there. It's crazy. Okay, building supplies, things like paints, electrical oils, lubricants, okay? All of those mess with your hormones. They mess with men's hormones too. This is not just women's, okay? We'll talk about that in a little bit. This is not just, today's talk is very specific to menstrual health, but it's messing with our men as well. Okay, men are testosterone dominant. They are the fighter, the provider, the protector. They are bombarded with massive amounts of fake synthetic estrogens. Hello, fertility problems, people. Fertility problems are crazy high these days, okay? And this is some of the causing factors, okay? It's not just on women, it's on men as well, okay? We have plenty of products that men use or are around or surrounded by every single day that are causing them reproductive issues. Anyway, back to women, okay? Insecticides, pesticides, I can't even go through all of the list of that because there are so many that, again, I would be here forever. But the stuff that you spray in your yard, the stuff that you put on your skin so the mozzies don't bite you, okay, all of those things are causing potential illness and disease, okay? Birth control. Yep, birth control, okay? I'm going to share a personal experience with birth control here. So I had what's called, back in my 20s, what was it called? It was a follicular hyperplasia. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember the name now. Anyway, I had a lump on my liver the size of a golf ball caused by birth contraceptives. Okay, so birth control. That was in my 20s, and I had to go off the pill at the time because it was causing me to get all of these lumps. They were benign, thank goodness. And then it took about 5 years for, my body to actually heal and for it to be eliminated. But I haven't been able to go on them since. And even since having Charlotte and leaving the hospital, and you know how they always put you on the mini pill straight after you've had a baby, I got breast lumps straight away. Like it's not normal. And I speak about, being as natural as possible in previous episodes. Like I just did one on diets, but it's a concern for me. Like I literally popped up in breast lumps straight away from having these. And the moment that I stopped, they went away. So all that stuff is going to lay stagnant somewhere, okay? And we've got to eliminate it and we've got to get rid of it. It's not, it's not okay to have excess amounts of different substances of any kind because it will lead to some sort of detrimental impact. So these are just a few, okay? But I'll post a better list for you on the episode description so you can have a look. But this is the main important thing. So how can you minimize your exposure to these things? Because they're everywhere, okay? And it's definitely going to be a challenge to eliminate these completely, but it's worth the effort, okay? I know you're not going to be able to get to all of them. I mean, even I today have my lunch in a plastic container because I ran out of my glass ones and then I break them sometimes. So I literally have mine in a plastic container, but what I'll make sure I do is I won't put that container in the microwave. I actually put my food into a ceramic dish and then heat it up in the microwave at work. So just something to consider, not to be heating up plastic when you heat your food. So things that you can do to eliminate your exposure to these is 1, avoid using pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, okay? You would have thought that like organic foods would help with some of this, but they're still questionable, okay? Because I want you to essentially close your eyes and visualize how, a farm that does use all the chemicals actually works. When they spray chemicals, they don't necessarily land straight down onto the food and vegetables that they're growing. They float and they move and they change direction and they do end up in the direction of other places as well, not just on the farm, okay? So you're still going to have some chemicals on organic foods. It's not possible, like realistically, for there not to be some chemicals on pretty much everything, okay? So clean your fruit and vegetables really well before consuming, even if they are organic, okay? Eat grass-fed meats from reputable farmers who take care of their animals, okay? What are the things that these animals are eating before those animals end up on our plate? Really important thing to consider, how that animal is treated and how it is raised, okay? The closest to nature the possible, because whatever that animal has in it, then we take that in, okay? As I mentioned before, don't microwave your food in plastics. It's like one of the number one things. Don't use cling wrap to cover foods, okay? Use glass, use ceramic for storage. Avoid drinking from bottles that have been heated up, like in the car, and definitely don't refill plastic bottles. Okay, so plastic isn't flush. So when it's cut in a factory, It has little dangly bits. So if you were to put a plastic bottle under the microscope, you would see that there's actually these little fibers, the little polymers they're called, that are actually hanging off the sides. So it only takes a little bit of a shake or a little bit of a shift or a little crunch of that bottle and they fall off and drop into the water. Okay, but just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And we've all had to drink out of plastic bottles at one stage or another, especially if we've gone to like a music festival or something like that and you can't take anything of your own in and you're forced to buy something there, then you are drinking out of the plastic. And you've just got to hope that they haven't had all of that stored, in a 40-degree day in Perth out the back in the storeroom before it goes onto the shelf. So things like that, you can these days, thank goodness, buy glass bottles or the steel bottles, all of those sorts of things that are actually going to be better for you. I know it's hard, but check out your skincare products for all the ingredients. I know it's so annoying, but you're putting all of that onto your skin and it's being absorbed into your cells like straight away. So the moment that it's in those cells, it's not metabolized, it's not broken down by the body, it has to be stored and it has to be processed and it has to be eliminated, okay? And it will end up in fat cells if it's there. All right, so minimize your exposure to nail polish removers, and instead go for, natural-based fragrances, chemical-free soaps and toothpaste, unbleached tampons, pads, toilet paper, coffee filters. Like what those things go through to be visually appealing doesn't necessarily mean they're healthy for us. Bleached toilet paper, why do we want to be wiping our bums with bleach? It's so weird to me, but, that's where we're at because it visually looks better in our toilet, right? We want white toilet paper. We want, white coffee filters. We want white paper towel, we want white tampons, like all of these things, they get bleached, okay, and that ends up in or on our bodies. So it's something to consider. Also be aware of the gases that come from copiers, printers, carpets, fiber boards, and petrol, all of those things, okay? So get to know what's in your products and replace them accordingly. So it's going to be hard to go through today probably and go, oh my gosh, I've got to throw out all of these things because there are so many hazards now. Now that I'm aware of them, there's so many hazards. But trust me when I say that sometimes it is the simplest of things that cause the most problems. And so some of these build up in the body, and this is why we have detrimental and disease and illnesses that occur, is because we're just not aware of these things. Okay, so one of my other tips will be to keep exercising and release the fat cells to remove some of the xenoestrogens that have built up. Okay, I say that repeatedly over and over and over again. Exercise is amazing for so many different reasons. It's not just about getting exercise. It's the fact that you have to release and burst open those fat cells when you exercise. And at the same time as releasing the fat, you're releasing the toxins, and the toxins can then be eliminated from the body. Okay, so it's not just about getting exercise. The unfortunate news, I'm very sorry to say, about xenoestrogens is that when there is a buildup of them, it can indicate some conditions, okay? So breast cancer, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, obesity, infertility, endometriosis, miscarriages, diabetes. These are very unfortunate consequences that can happen from xenoestrogens being built up in the body. Okay, it's better to have this information than to not have it at all, because you can make some simple changes at home to try and eliminate as many of these as you possibly can. So what can you do to get rid of them? Speaking of, my best advice is to be minimalist, okay? As you can on the amount that you take into the body. It's not going to be realistic all of the time because we're surrounded by a lot of those substances on a daily basis, but it's about being aware. It's about being more knowledgeable and understanding what they do in the body, okay? And being proactive in just removing some of them as best as you can, swapping out plastics for glass or plastics for ceramic, checking out your skincare range and seeing if you can swap over to a more natural range, okay? Remove as much as you can by eliminating the fat cells and practicing autophagy, okay? There's a whole segment on autophagy. So check that out as well. What does that mean? It's self-eating, okay? It's what we practice from the moment that we are conceived. We self-eat, okay? We are meant to self-eat. We're meant to clean out all of the toxins and all of the crap in our body. We're not there to store it. Okay, so if you can, and you can up your exercise and up your movement and be more mindful of getting rid of these things in the body, you are going to feel so much better. Okay, so I think that we've covered a lot of information, and I'm sorry it's a bit of a like a bit of a Debbie Downer type episode, but I feel like this is a great place for you guys to start. If you're having any menstrual cycle issues and you don't know why, these could be the reasons. These simple things that you can change, you can eliminate, you can swap over. Okay, so check them out. Find out more information. I implore you, I encourage you to do your own research. Never take what one person says as the absolute truth. There are perspectives, there are different understandings, there is a whole range of information out there that's available. And people do tend to be biased with the information depending on who you're looking at. So try and do your research and gather as much information as you can about all the different things that you're putting in, on, or around your body, and then you can make an informed decision yourself. All right, and if you think that someone else would benefit from today's chat, or someone's having menstrual problems, please reach out to me. I've got an amazing workshop coming up in June. I'm also running it again in September and November. It's all to do with women's cycles, okay? It's not just about hormones. It's going to be about the moon and the universe and our quantum connection, our nutrition, how to exercise, all sorts of different stuff coming up. I've also got a 6-week online course that's going to be released at the end of the year to help women with this as well, because it's so important to me of getting this information out there and really fixing some of these basic issues that are happening with people's menstrual cycles. It's so crucial for the woman to know what's actually happening, when it's happening, and how to rectify it. Okay, so if that sounds like something that you or someone else or a loved one needs, please put this podcast episode in front of them, get them to come to my workshop. Anything that you can do to help raise the awareness is going to be beneficial and make our community healthier and happier. So until next time, I'll see you later.
The information, views and opinions expressed on this podcast should not be used or treated as a substitute for nutritional, medical, psychological or other advice by a qualified medical health professional. Hosts and guests on the podcast express their own opinions, experiences and conclusions, and nothing on the podcast should be used to diagnose, treat, cure or prevent any medical conditions. The podcast is not intended to replace any medical or mental health treatment. All information and advice provided is for general well-being and does not take individual cases into consideration. Neither Tracey Soltis, guests on the podcast, or any sponsors endorse the opinions, views or conclusions expressed or shared on the podcast. Tracey Soltis takes no responsibility for any symptoms or consequences as a direct or indirect result of this podcast.